Okay, so this is Tuesday, the 1st of July. It's a kind of a holiday-ish week here in the States. So super light attendance today. As Sean said, most of us we saw in person last week. We have a super short agenda too. So I'll just go ahead and share. We can just kind of run through this and y'all will get some time back probably, I would guess today. If you have a piece of trivia and you want to drop it in here, that'd be great. I have none. So you would think I would have something awesome to put in here. It's like pick that question. So yeah, my daughter and I were Googling good trivia questions and they were all like, what's the city? Like not super challenging questions. So that was no help. So maybe I should ask ChatGPT or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I put on the agenda just a quick wrap up for everybody who was not at CHAOSScon or OSSNA last week. Just some high level stuff. We had 49 people enter the raffle, which is pretty light, really. We usually, like all things open, we'll have a way over 100. Even scale, we have close to 100. But I will say this year's scale was also super light, so I think it's just a thing. I don't know what every other person here who was at OSSNA thinks, but it did seem like attendance was pretty light this year, at
I
least
talked
in the exhibit hall.
I talked to Angela about this a little bit, and one of the things she said, so they're pros. They've been running these events for ages, and she said there are very distinct patterns of what happens. And she said that one of the patterns is that they get a huge percentage of the registrations in the last 2 weeks. People wait until the very last minute to register. And she said
Hmm.
that for the first time did not happen. So they did not get a last minute wave of registrations, which they sort of count on for attendance, and it just didn't happen. And so she thinks part of it is, people not wanting to travel from other countries to the US.
Yeah, and
I think
the
part of it,
the event was also a little off compared to previous years when it was like March, April, May, which is more of the conference season travel.
That's a really good point too. I think end of June is vacation season and it was super awkward. I know like Matt couldn't go because he had like family stuff and I know for university folks it's not an ideal time. Uh, Kelly.
Yeah, it's like it was late, and also Open Source Summit EU is early, and so I
Mm.
think I would not be surprised if once like the attendee stats come out that the non-UA US based like population is just like much smaller because you have people not wanting to travel to the US, it being later, Open Source Summit EU being earlier, like all of those things are going to compound pretty easily. I know at least for me personally, I have been of the mind that I will be traveling slash the events in Europe are going to be a lot more heavily attended for at least the next couple of years versus people coming to the US, and it makes sense. Um, yeah, that's kind of been my mentality towards events in general.
yeah, I put in chat. I also think companies have pulled back hard on travel budgets this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I did not like. If I would have known what the that is probably one of my least favorite venues I think I've ever been to.
I've,
Um,
I've, I've been going to
yeah.
conferences for 30 years, and yeah, that is absolutely the worst venue I've ever had a conference in. Like, I had to walk farther through the venue than from my hotel to the venue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
say
think the conference was placed within the venue. It was just so unfortunate. And there were entrance doors right below where the conference sessions were, but I assume staffing
Couldn't get in.
you just were not enough, so you couldn't get in. And like my Airbnb was actually like I got to that corner of the convention center, so I had to walk around the convention center to walk all the way back and then go 2 floors up. I was like, what is going on? It has
Oh
been
my
bad
gosh.
in the past, but
Uh,
yeah. I'm also usually trying to make it to both US and EU versions of this event. And them having this close, I think as Kelly said, they just picked one of those because why would you go to both of them in 2 month difference? And it's just, yeah. It's just, I think a lot of factors were affecting this particular occasion of the event. People who were there, though, we had a good time. So there's that.
I want to
Sure.
say a few good things, Georg, here. The getting there by car was really awesome because the parking garage was right under the event. So I had to take the elevator one level up. And I thought the view was spectacular. And then the layout with everything being so close together, I ran into a lot of people. So the hallway track was really good.
Yes,
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like
yeah.
once
Once
you got to
there,
the area. Yeah.
yeah, attendance low, I would say engagement like very high, at least for like my personal and like company purposes of me being there. Like it was a very successful event. All like, and that's no asterisk honestly needed towards it. Like the success of the event, the high, like the engagement, a lot of stuff, really great stuff came out of it. I think Chaos Con um, had great engagement as well. So I think it says a lot that despite all of the kind of more negative, lower attendance, there was still a lot of like really great outcomes.
Yeah, and I just want to second Georg's point on I think including the Linux folks and most collocated things throughout the week, like everything was opening from the same one hallway, which was really nice. So you didn't have to walk miles within the convention center once you made it to the general area. So it was really easy to, like, I was able to hop over to a few sessions that I was not able to make it before just because it was on different floors or completely different part of the convention center because of how the tracks were organized, and OSS always has a lot of different tracks. So the fact that all rooms were opening from the same hallway, that was very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was like somebody mentioned this earlier, but it just was easier to find people because everything was closer together. So that was kind of nice.
Agreed. Agreed on all points. Sorry, I'm picked up a little, something, something, as you do. I
Maybe
did
from the
pick up.
overly air-conditioned rooms last week because I was freezing to death sometimes.
Yeah, that is also valid. I know in the Chaos Con room, it was absolutely frigid in that room. So we just, yeah, layer it up. I did want to also just thank these fine folks for helping out with the booth. Really, really appreciated you all being there. I know there were other chaotics kind of floating in and out as well, and kind of, hanging around the booth area just to chat with people. So thank you to all you lovely, wonderful chaotics. Just makes things a little bit, no, not a little bit, a lot easier when there is, spreading the spreading the wealth out. So because those can be very, very long days. The only change, we'll probably keep doing it. It does bring people in, and I think we're kind of known for giving that Lego globe away. At least that's what the comments we heard from some folks, that they had seen us before and were excited to re-enter the raffle and try again. We are going to next time just add an option to get a text, because this year a student won and we were really afraid they were not going to check email. So because a lot of people don't check email. So yeah, we'll give that option next time. And then as far as CHAOSScon, I would love to hear others' feedback as well. I was trying to kind of keep track of numbers just for our sake, you know, just for our own curiosity. And it seemed to be about 30 to 40 people coming and going. Of course, having that on that last day in the afternoon meant a lot of people were catching flights and things, so they had to leave a little early. So we did start out with more than we ended up with, I think, but I found it curious, and I don't remember from last year's, I feel like they were a little more what's the word I want, a little more attentive to badges in the past, but this year it seemed like people were able to kind of float in and out of sessions and other unconferences, so, or other, you know, mini conferences. So I'm not sure if that was good or bad. I think it was great personally, because we had some folks pop in for a few talks on CHAOSS that weren't even registered, that just kind of popped in to see, which is fine. So I'm just curious if others have feedback on their experience around CHAOSScon specifically.
Yeah, I thought I agree with Elizabeth. I think it's great that they just sort of let people wander in, because there were people who wanted to come to just a talk or two and sneak out of their other co-located event, and you know, we had the space for it. So I think it's great that people could do that, because yeah, because there were some people who came for a couple of sessions who wouldn't have otherwise been able to. And I thought the talks are really good. I thought both of the software projects were really well represented. I thought Andrew's talk on funding was really, really good. I had no idea he could talk that fast, but lesson lesson learned. The talk was great though, and the repo that he put up with like all of his data and slides and stuff is amazing. It's got all the data in there. So that was really good. I think the one thing that didn't work particularly well was our informal approach to the social event. The restaurant got super stressed out and had a hard time accommodating us. And I know that several people just walked, several of our participants left because it was just too, I think it was just too chaotic. And there wasn't, because we didn't have a dedicated space for it. So I think next time I think we do need like a booking at a restaurant. Even if people are paying for themselves, I think if we just book a couple of tables, that might help, because the restaurant was super stressed out about it. Sean.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I couldn't get anyone to seat me after I had to go get seated. Like the host just would never come back. So yeah, I left.
Yeah, because they were seating us in groups, and so for those of us that arrived in a group, it was fine. And then I
Yeah.
think for people that arrived on their own, I think it was hard, because basically what they wanted to do was seat you at a table by yourself, and then if more people showed up, they could join you. But that's not fun. Um, so I think it was a great idea to do it informally. It probably would have worked in a different space. Like you could totally get away with that in like a UK pub where there's no assigned seat, no assigned seating, and that would work. It would work fantastic. It would be fine. I think in the US, I think restaurants struggle with that. So I think it was a combination of the approach and the restaurant that we picked. But there's no way to know until we tried it. But for some of us, it was fine. I had a great time at the social. Like I got to hang out with Divya and Yaya and Elizabeth, and the margaritas were great. Guacamole was good. Uh, yeah, so I had a good time, but I think a more deliberate approach to it next time is probably good.
Yeah, I think there were also a couple other, which always happens, a couple other social events from other mini conferences and things that were sponsored. So, yeah, it was kind of a lot of options for people too. So we had no way of knowing like actually how many people were going to show up. So like this is kind of a free for all. So, yeah, yes, I agreed that we could maybe reserve some tables. I'm not sure how we figure that out, but yeah, I don't know. Anything else? Anybody want to add to the CHAOSScon? Anything? I will send out feedback form to folks who had registered we also ask if they didn't attend, if there was something we could do to make it easier. That's within our control. Obviously, the the timing of it was not in our control, nor was really the space, anything like that. But we do ask folks if there's something we could do that would make it easier for them to attend if they did not intend. So that I will send that around and I'll let everybody know kind of what the feedback was on that. Anything else though that people want to add? Ideas for next time?
Happy Canada Day. Just want to throw that out there.
Is that today?
To those who celebrate, yeah. So it is today.
Nice. I'm just going to put this in here about the social. So we don't forget. Anyway, Dawn, do you want to give an update on the data science hackathon? That seemed to go over really, really well.
Yeah, for sure. So there were parts of it that worked better than others, like any hackathon. It was mostly university students from the university where we held it, which was not our initial intent. But I feel like they got a lot out of it, so I think that's good. But I think as a result, there were a lot of no-shows. Like, I think we got probably half the amount of people that we thought we were going to have. So as a result, there was a lot of leftover food, but we also probably had too many projects for the number of people. And we tried to do a couple of them sort of hybrid, like some in person, some remote, and that I think didn't work particularly well. I think you've got to pick one. But like Sal led a project that was remote, that was probably, I'm going to say probably the most successful project of the hackathon. She got some really good participation. To be fair, she's also super experienced at doing things like this, certainly more so than I am. I don't know about anybody else. But that project, she was working on the foundation stats, and that project went really, really well. She's going to put together a doc with their findings and share it out in the next week or two. The archive project that I was doing also went reasonably well. We got some projects categorized. I think we got something like 40 some projects out of the 700 and some. I have to look at my notes. Yeah, 45 out of the 729 classified. So it's not so bad. Still got a ways to go. But that was the project for people who didn't necessarily need to have any special skills to contribute to that one. So that was good. The Forks and Relicensing project, I feel like that one was really interesting. It went off the rails, but not in a bad way, because the idea was that we gave them tools to analyze these repositories with the idea that they would analyze the forks and relicensing repositories that we've been working on. So the six or 8 repositories that we've been working on. But these people got super into it and they were like, no, I want to analyze this other project that I'm more interested in. So they started analyzing their own projects using some of the notebooks that Chan had put together. And so I feel like people did really interesting things. They just didn't do the things we expected them to do, which isn't a bad thing. So it was really interesting. I don't know, Callie, Sean, you want to add anything to that?
I agree. And we just came from the data science working group where we brought together all of our thoughts, and so yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the people facilitating, Sal and yourself and Callie and Chan, you let people go where they were curious to go, and I think that's the right thing to do. It's
Yeah.
what keeps people interested.
And props to Chan, because Chan really did organize pretty much all of this. So she did all of the work. I mean, we're talking on her behalf, but she did the work to organize the hackathon. So thanks to her.
Do you foresee something like that happening in the future again? Would you do maybe?
I would say, so yes and no. I would say no to doing it like we did this time, and I would say no to doing it with OSSNA, because I don't necessarily think it's the right crowd. But there is interest. So Sal is actually interested in doing a hackathon around some of the work that we're doing in Brighton, the one in the UK. which is where she lives. So there's a huge community of Python and R kind of data science people there. And so she would like to do maybe a hackathon or something there. So I think the idea would be that maybe we would do them around specific projects rather than kind of a general CHAOSS one.
Okay, that sounds
But I would
cool.
say if people are interested in doing a hackathon around the data science working group, we can totally chat about that. But I think maybe having it a bit more focused next time would be good.
Awesome. I mean, that I think it's real, it went great. I mean, it was our first one, right? So like, I mean, of all the things that could have gone wrong with the first one, it seemed like it just was fantastic. People really enjoyed from what I heard anyway. So yeah. And you know what, like the no-shows, that's always going to be a problem. So I guess better to have a smaller group for that first one anyway. It's a little more manageable anyway. So it all worked out. It's all good. Okay. Sorry, one final question on that. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm not like trying to give people more work. Is there an interest, do you think, in writing like a blog post or some kind of like summary just to kind of give it a little more visibility of what was worked on and interest? Because I know people were interested in kind of what the outcome of it was.
Yes, we should do that. Because Sal said she's going to write up what they worked on. So
Okay.
so we'll have I can write up certainly the stuff we worked on for the archive project, and then I can work with Chan and Callie and see if we want to do something. Okay, I'll put that. It's not super urgent, so I'm just gonna put that on my agenda for next week since since this is a holiday week. And
yeah, and like I said, I want to give people more work. But if there's anything I can do to help like pull it together or whatever, just let me know. Just let me know.
no, it should be good.
Or if Sal wants to cross post or something.
Yeah, because we spent a bunch of time talking about it in the data science working group, so
Okay.
we've got good notes already. Sal said that they were going to pull some stuff together, so yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Any other questions, comments about Denver stuff?
Harmony, can you mute? Thank you.
The next one on the list, I was just curious because I didn't really get to hear. I mean, I heard anecdotally from people, a lot of people at Denver, how the UN event went, because that was like my whole feed while everybody was there, I think. But if anyone is there, I think CHAOSS had a side informal event. Is that right? Is David still on here?
Curious Group did, or
Yeah, I think yeah,
Yeah, so I thought that
Claire
CHAOSS was
did
like kind of
something,
like
yeah.
inserted in there somewhere informally.
Yeah, it was a special meetup day, I believe, but David looks like he left, so
yeah, and I think there was also one around maybe around the UN SDGs that some CHAOSS folks were a part of. So there was no CHAOSS side event.
Okay.
There was really good CHAOSS representation, I think, in several of the side events,
Okay.
I guess. It's just
Okay.
that none of those people are here to talk about it. I don't know, Georg, did you go to any of those?
The only side event I went to um, at the UN Open Source Week, I went to pretty much all of them. The Maintainathon on Monday. I did not go to the hackathon because that was overlapping. I went to the Curious event, the University OSPOS at the Sloan Foundation, and then the LinkedIn event. And then on Wednesday was the main event, Thursday was the main event, and then we had Friday the meeting at the Pricewater Cooper PVC building, and that was the crowning the crowning end of the week. So yes, I went to as many as I could.
How did the Curious one go?
It was very good. It was a working session. It was a workshop on what the value proposition of an OSPO at a university is. And we had a lot of good conversations about how the environment has changed in the last 2 years, and some of the assumptions no longer held true. So for a while, just to give one example, for a while, the IT function at the universities, like as a general note, was like, yeah, we'll just hire this company or get these proprietary tools. Now that funding is a lot tighter, they're like, maybe we can look at open source tools. So the OSPO's position for that one is changing. Then the funding landscape overall is changing. The universities are reorienting themselves, especially in the United States, to the new priorities of the administration, the federal government administration. So the funding streams are changing. Well, no one knows where this is going. It's a really interesting time right now to be at a university because there's a lot of innovating and surveying the landscape to see how best to respond to it.
I dropped some links into a couple of blog posts that I did. So the digital sovereignty and resilience was a separate it was a separate side event. It was part of the PwC ones, but it was just focused on digital sovereignty and resilience. And there was some CHAOSS overlap there. So there were some folks from the CHAOSS community. So Daniel Izquierdo was on a panel along with University of Texas OSPO lead, who I'm drawing a complete blank on her name.
I'm blanking too.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I apologize. I hope she doesn't watch this video because that's embarrassing.
Is that Angela?
Angela Newell. Thank you. Yep. So she led a panel, and so that one was a little more, yeah, but it was interesting.
Wonderful. I guess we'll see if they end up doing it again next year. It seems like they probably will because there was a lot of interest in that for sure.
Yeah, we should ask Claire if she has a report out on the Curious event, because I would also be interested to get a summary of that one, because I sadly didn't get there in time to do that one.
Is that right? Are you in there? I don't know. I don't know how to spell curious.
It's like an extra R or S, I think.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
I don't know. What does it stand for? Does anybody know?
OSS, I know that one. Open source software.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure. I'm here for
I
you.
think it is the community of university and research institution OSPOs.
Okay. Yay. Thanks, Georg. I never knew that. I want to put that up here under the trivia question. I think now I know. Okay. Any other comments or feedback, input, anything, discussion about any of these events that were going on?
I want to send a quick invitation to anyone who was at these events. If you would like to be on a podcast episode where we talk about the events and the different chaos related themes that we heard and talked about, then please let me know. Otherwise, I'll reach out to a few chaotics that I know were at these events and put together a panel for a podcast episode. So if you were at these events, please let me know if you would like to be on this episode.
I would be happy to, Garrick, if you need more people. I've been on a lot of podcasts, so I'm also happy to have other people do it instead. But if you need me, just let me know.
Thank you, Dawn.
I'm always happy to do a podcast.
Thank you, Sean.
Sure.
But Sean, you weren't at the UN event. Was that the ask?
No, I didn't know if it was just UN or more broadly.
It was
If it
for
was,
both the UN and the Open Source Summit and CHAOSScon and our hackathon, because, well, they all happened within the span of 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking to put this together as one episode for topics that are hot right now.
yeah.
Cool.
I also appreciate the segue into the next agenda item. Thank you, Georg. There is a lot. Speaking of podcasts, there is an episode that was released on Thursday, the 26th, about FOSS Backstage. So if you have not checked that out yet, you can do so right here. And there you go. And then finally, we have 14 minutes left. So this is a topic of conversation that has kind of lingered on over and above and beyond the one that we missed. So this has been on for a while. We have been talking about a new metric that Georg had proposed, and then I guess this was also on the agenda of like, what is the process now, and can we document that and put it in one place? So I don't know if this is a topic that needs more than 14, 13 minutes. Here's what we have right now, that we have this issue template. I don't know if these are still, updated, accurate, applicable. I don't know kind of what to do with this. And also, we have then this document that we are using, which is updated. This is our current metric template. But as far as like the process goes, I don't think have it really documented anywhere. So I guess the question is who, where, how we want to put this together. Or if this is something that we want to give to that asynchronous metrics development group. What are our thoughts on all this?
I think it would be good to do the process. I think what we talked about was doing it in the context working groups, if that's where they need the metric, because doing it asynchronously in the metrics development meetings never worked particularly well for especially for ones that were proposed out of other groups. So it just makes more sense to just work on the metrics in those groups. But we don't have a process for that. We just need to document it and agree on it and figure out exactly what that looks like. Sean, was I talking over you? Did you have something to add?
Nope. You're good.
So I will propose, I will actually take this as an action item just because I want to see it happen. So I will take the action item to just put a first draft. Here's what I think we are doing with the process these days. And then I will circulate it. Everybody can, add their comments or whatnot. So does that seem reasonable? Is everybody okay with that? At least getting something in writing? I mean, if anybody else has a strong urge to do it, by all means, knock yourself out. But I didn't really see anybody jumping to that. So. Okay, cool. Then I will just take that action item. Document a first draft of what the process is.
And Elizabeth, I put some thoughts on what I think the process is right now in the Slack channel for the metric development working group. So
that's perfect.
That might be a starting point.
Metrics development section. I was just gonna say, Georg, I might ping you to have a look at that first. I was just gonna say that, so I'm glad you brought that up. The
Perfect.
metrics.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, 9 minutes left. Just a few reminders. CHAOSScon Africa is August 13th. I think they're still looking through the CFP submissions. I don't think they've released their schedule yet. Or if they have, nobody's let me know to put it on the website yet. So that's how I'll know. But yeah, that's exciting. I saw a few people at OSSNA that were going to attend, and I'm super FOMO jealous, but that's okay. Maybe next time. And then just a reminder, if you are given a talk at an upcoming event, you can add your talk here, and you just click on this date, whatever it is, and this would be the talk title, conference name, your name, and a link. And then it will be publicly out there. And we will try to keep promoting these. I know it's kind of newish, but we'll keep trying to promote that as we can.
We talked
Help
about
people
adding
figure out.
the talk title as well.
So that would be the for like up here, you would say like
Yeah, okay.
blah,
Sorry.
blah, blah. And then
Yep.
the conference, your name, like, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry. I missed the big box at the
No,
top.
no, you're okay. I mean, do you think like, cause this is what it would look like. I changed it. So like, this
No,
is what it,
that's perfect. I just didn't see the
Okay.
big box at the top thing.
Okay.
It's hot and my brain doesn't work very well right now.
I totally get it. I'm still trying to catch up. I don't even know what day or time it is. So I'm sure you even more so don't know what day or time it is. All right. I was just talking there. Sorry. Is there anything else that we want to discuss or add to the agenda in our last few minutes?
Just a quick question. I remember that I think we did summer breaks for the weekly calls in past years. Are we planning to do that this year too?
We can, sure. I mean, I'm happy to take a break on anything. Heck yeah.
No, I mean, I don't want to say that we should not run these meetings. I just wanted to, I'm just trying to puzzle things together for like what's happening during the summer and what's not happening during the summer. That's why I was asking if it's something that we were planning for this year too or not. So no
I
pressure.
think we should talk
either
about it.
direction.
No, I think
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think we should.
really good idea because participation's always super light anyways. And maybe we just pick a couple of weeks in August where we don't have any meetings.
Sounds good.
Yeah, August would be the traditional European time to not be around. So
We could
I say go
coincide.
for it.
We could coincide it with the last week of August, which is the OSSEU. So maybe like the last 2 weeks of August.
Love it. Yeah. I should say, does anyone have strong feelings why we shouldn't do that? Georg says, how about all of August?
I'm all in.
Why
Also
don't you
valid.
propose it in the maybe in the general channel because we don't have that many people in the meeting. Let's see what people think. I'd be
I'll
fine
just
with
say,
all of August. I'm on holiday the first week of August anyways.
yeah. Excellent. Okay, I will put something in general. I'm guessing, unless somebody has something super, has super strong feelings and wants us to keep going, then we can talk about it. But I love this idea. I love it. Thank you, Ildiko, for bringing that up.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure thing. I'm happy to remind everyone that we need to take care of ourselves sometimes too.
Yes, 100%. Okay, I think we're about finished today. You get 5 minutes back, hooray. Have an enjoyable rest of your day, everybody, and we will see you here same time next week. Take
Thank
care,
you.
everybody. See ya.